Hello, everyone. Welcome as we are settling into the practice. Please make yourself comfortable. If you have a candle nearby, feel free to light up the candle. If you have a favorite essential oil that you would like to start with, we still have a few moments so you can begin with some aromatherapy. So just create circumstances that would contribute to your safe environment, would contribute to a supportive environment around you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. I received a couple of messages from friends in different states, in different countries who I have not talked to for many months. So this challenging time has many silver linings, and one of them is maybe we have a chance to communicate with those of our friends who we haven't talked to for a while. So welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining. So as we begin to settle into this new reality, we are being faced with many challenges. And one of the challenges is that we are very new to this whole experience. We are newbies when it comes to facing a pandemic. And we're also new to some of the changes that are taking place in our lives. For example, a lot of the yoga teachers, a lot of the yoga studios are transitioning to these online classes, online offerings. And personally, this has been quite a change for me. I consider myself not very technically savvy. So one of the things that I notice in my own mind and heart these last couple of days is that I feel quite self-critical. So that feeling of self-criticism about some of my inabilities, some of the things that I don't know, have been popping up within the last couple of days. So my personal whisper to myself has been, it's okay. It's okay not to know. It's okay to be new at something. It's okay not to have all the answers. And so when I would hear this voice of self-criticism, self-judgment, I try to see it as an opportunity to practice self-compassion. It's okay not to know. It's okay to stay close to that feeling of uncertainty. So my offering to you this evening is a practice of contacting some of these challenging feelings, some of these challenging emotions that you might be facing right now. And tonight we will be doing it with the practice of rain. Some of you are familiar with this practice. We have been exploring it in our yin classes for the last couple of years. RAIN is an acronym. It stands for recognize, allow, investigate, and nourish. And these 4 steps, honestly, have been a huge support for me personally last couple of days. So let's practice these steps together. We'll start lying down on our backs. If you have a bolster that you can use today, you're welcome to place a bolster underneath your knees. If you don't have a bolster, but there are pillows or blankets around, you can use those props as well. You can roll up your blanket, set it underneath your knees. Lying down on our backs in Shavasana. Perhaps beginning with a full body stretch, extending the arms over the head. finding perhaps the deepest inhalation of the day. And as you exhale, let it go. Finding the position of the arms, legs, torso, head, where you can feel supported, where you can feel held. So I wanted us to begin with the words by Jeff Foster this evening. This little reading is called First Contact. Just one instant of true contact changes everything. Just one instant of touching directly your fear, anger, sadness, doubt, boredom, loneliness, and I would add to it, uncertainty. Meeting the raw energy of life itself behind the labels and concepts, prior to the words, meeting what is without expectation, without trying to escape, without turning away, without protection, forever changes your relationship to it. Now, you know each other directly, beyond theory. You have penetrated each other's defenses. You have seen through the facade. You have truly made contact, and nothing will ever be the same. Now, however far you travel from each other, however much you try to push each other away, however desperately you try to forget each other, you will never truly forget that once you met so deeply that you have touched each other and been touched in return, that you have held each other in the palms of your hands and seen your reflected and forgotten division and the separation of things. Now, when fear appears again, or when sadness returns in waves, or when anger bursts forth from the creative void, or a thought floats by, you will know it is only a familiar friend come to visit. It is only the one you love, brilliantly disguised. Just a moment of real contact is all it takes. And then there is no turning back. For you cannot truly forget the one you love, your own child, your own flesh and blood, no matter how their appearance changes, no matter how far they roam. So in this time of social distancing, may we be courageous enough to have a direct contact with our own hearts. So take a moment right now with your eyes closed to contact this moment, to notice what is here, to recognize the way the moment is presenting itself. Maybe you feel a bit anxious, so recognize anxiety. Maybe you feel quite safe and sheltered in the comfort of your home. Contact this feeling of safety, recognize its presence. Maybe there is a presence of concern for yourself, your loved ones. Recognize the presence of this feeling. Nothing else you need to do. For now, just pause and breathe and notice. One of the studies in UCLA have been about the effect of practicing naming our inner experiences. So naming an emotion or feeling really strengthens our resilience, our capacity for self-compassion. So, as we begin our physical practice, let's continue. Let's continue recognizing the appearances of the moment. Let's continue saying hello to the guests that arise in our hearts and the minds. Begin to deepen your breath, please. And as the breath deepens, start welcoming gentle movement to your fingers, to your toes. Guide your chin side to side. Just notice how this first pulsation of the body feels. Maybe open and close your hands. Maybe flex your feet, point your toes. Guiding the chin side to side. Maybe open your mouth and move your lower jaw a little. I'm already doing it as I talk to you, but you don't have to say a word unless you want to. Just moving the facial muscles. And then with the next few breaths, find a full body stretch. Extend your arms over the head, and maybe a deep yawn is unfolding. Next time you inhale, as you exhale, release your arms to the floor by your sides. Bend your knees. And if you had a prop underneath your knees, just set it aside, maybe push it forward or out. Flatten your lower back on the ground as you draw your knees towards your chest. Gently roll side to side. And perhaps this is the first time in the day when you are lying down on the floor. Maybe it is the first time today when you are moving your body mindfully. So just notice the way your body feels right now. There might be some tension, there might be some stiffness. There might be some self-criticism that is creeping in because of these experiences of the body. It's okay. Let the body be tense. Just contacting this feeling of tension with curiosity. Now return your feet to the ground. Once more, extend your arms over the head, finding that full body stretch. And then lower your left arm down. Bend your left knee. Push your right foot to the floor and roll over onto your right hand side. Bend your right elbow, rest your head into your right hand. And just for now, let your left fingertips or the whole palm rest on the floor near your belly or your chest. Just pausing here for a few moments, maybe bending the knees a little. Feel the gravitational pull, inviting the body to rest. Now from here, extend your left leg forward towards the wall in front of you and see how much of that right upper thigh can you move towards the ground. And then with the heel of the left hand, gently lengthen the left side of the lower back. You can place the heel of the left hand towards the bottom of the shoulder blade and then move the hand down just to lengthen the lower spine a bit. Now, bend your right knee and with your left hand begin to search for your right foot. And for some of us, this connection might not be possible today. So if you have a strap, if you have a belt or a scarf lying around, you're more than welcome to fold this prop around your right foot and hold on to it with the left hand. Now begin to guide your heel towards the buttock. Be very kind to your right quadriceps. Don't press the heel too far in, just enough to feel the first lengthening, the first moment of lengthening of the right thigh. And then release that and try this again. Exhale, draw the heel in. Inhale, let that go. And maybe one more time, just saying hello to the right thigh. Now, when you let go of that pressure a bit, turn your gaze up and begin to slowly, slowly rotate your left shoulder out, letting your right hand carry your head all the way back and down, letting the right arm rest on the floor nearby. Feel the contact of the body to the floor, the back of the head, the arms, the right side of the body. Begin to allow your body melt into the support, unconditional support of the ground beneath you. Letting your eyelids lower down. As your eyes close, start noticing the way the breath echoes in your body. You might notice that there are certain areas that lighten up. Sensations in the chest, belly, left shoulder, they might become quite a bit more vivid with inhalations. But you might also notice that as you breathe out, certain areas of the body, they soften a little. As you feel your body being breathed, as you feel the sensations dancing in your body with the breath, let's begin with our first step, and that is establishing a direct contact with what is here in your heart. Recognizing. So we can think of that first step as recognizing as in seeing what is true in your inner life. It starts the moment you focus your attention on whatever thoughts, emotions, feelings, or sensations are arising here and now. You don't have to make anything up. You don't have to achieve any special state of being, any enlightened state of being. As your attention settles and opens, you will discover that some parts of your experience are easier to connect with than others. You might recognize that there is some unease, some anxiety right away. But you might also notice that there is some ease of breath. You might also notice that there are certain aspects of the experience that are actually pleasant. So noticing the entirety of your experience of being here and now, but also noticing the vivid aspects. You might welcome the following question. What is happening inside me right now? What is happening inside me right now? Call on your natural curiosity as you focus inward, listening in a kind, receptive way to your body and your heart. Let's share 5 more breaths here. Perhaps intentionally guiding the inhalations in a wave from the belly to the solar plexus, all the way up to the collarbones. And as you exhale, can you slow the exhalation down? As if you wanted the air to stay with you for as long as possible. Savor the exhalations. Feel how delicious they are. And the speed of the breath is different for each of us. So whenever your 5th breath is fading away, begin to release the connection of your hand to the foot or hand to the strap. And just pause on your side for a couple of moments. Bend your knees, guide your knees a little closer to your right arm. Just take a moment to savor the aftertaste of the twist that you just experienced. And when an imprint of this twist begins to fade away, start transitioning onto your back again. Now, as you find your way onto your back, give your knees a hug. Maybe roll side to side, side to side. Maybe you guide your brows to your knees, your nose to your knees, and then you gently lean side to side, side to side. And then return the back of your head to the ground, return your feet to the floor. And let's roll over onto the left-hand side. Roll over onto your left-hand side. Now I will turn my face to you so you can see me a little bit better. So as you roll over onto your left-hand side, bend your left elbow. Rest your head into the support of your left hand. If possible, extend your legs. If not, you can bend your knees as much as you need to. So again, take a moment here. This is a gentle side stretch. So notice the sensations on the left side body. Feel the gravitational pull, inviting the body to soften. And with the next few moments, draw the right leg towards the wall in front of you. Now, this right leg can be fully extended. If it takes too much effort to keep the leg extended, you can bend your knee, you can place a pillow or a blanket underneath your right thigh. With the heel of the right hand, begin to lengthen the right side of the spine. Just a few more of these little movements of the hand. And then see how much of that left thigh, left upper thigh, can you bring to the floor. Lengthening the left hip flexors. Now with your right hand, begin to search for your left foot. If the foot is not available, find your strap. Find your belt or a scarf. And then rotate your right shoulder out a little and push your foot back so the heel moves away from the buttock. Now draw the heel towards the buttock. Feel the left quadricep. A couple more. Draw the foot back and then draw the foot towards the buttock. One more time. Draw the foot back and away from the pelvis. And then guide your heel towards the pelvis. Feel that stretch in your left thigh. Now, start turning your gaze up. As you look up, rotate your right shoulder out and slowly, slowly carry your head back and down. Some of us lower the head all the way down to the floor. Some of us reach for the pillow to place underneath the head. I invite you to open the eyes for a moment. Just notice where your gaze is naturally landing. Our first step of encountering our inner experiences, this practice of recognizing, is very similar to first contact with objects visually. As I open my eyes, I see the ceiling of perennial yoga studio. I see those beautiful lanterns. I see those beautiful oranges and orange color and grays, and it's a very nice way the light is landing on the ceiling. So I'm seeing all those different things. So recognize what you're seeing right now in your own environment. What are the colors, the shapes that are available to your vision, to your eyesight right now? Nothing else you need to do. You don't have to analyze anything further. Just acknowledge that first visual contact. I am seeing this right now. I am seeing this right now. And notice how this very act of seeing is already a moment of presence. I'm seeing this right now. I am here. Here in this space. Here in this moment. Close your eyes, please. And with the same clarity, recognize what is here in the environment of your heart, in the environment of your mind. Things might not be as clear in your mind and heart right now, then state uncertainty. There is some unfamiliarity. I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know what I'm seeing. That's okay too. It's a valuable information. Recognizing what is here as the breath continues unfolding in your belly, in your chest. Maybe gently whisper to yourself in your mind, this breath, this moment, this moment, this breath. Now notice the actual contact of your hand to your foot or a strap. And within the next few moments, let the foot go, let the strap go. As you lower your left leg down, roll over onto your left hand side. And just pause here for a couple of breaths. Let's not do any sharp, any quick movements in this practice. Let's consider the transitions between asanas as asanas themselves. So moving with slowness, moving with respect for the body, especially for those areas that have been touched by this particular asana that we're exploring. Now, within next few breaths, as you press your right hand to the floor, begin your journey to your upright seat. And turn towards the long side of the mat and draw your legs wide apart, wide apart. Take a moment here to notice what it feels like to be in this upright position. Since we are not practicing any balancing asanas today, and we don't need to rely on our eyesight for balancing, maybe you close your eyes and you let your eyes remain closed for 90% of the practice today. So just notice what it feels like to sit upright. Reaching up through the crown of the head as the sitting bones are rooting down to the floor. Feel your presence in your familiar space. Now, either flex your feet or point your toes, activate your feet in one of these two ways. Maybe shake your legs a little. Lengthen your spine a little more. And as you exhale, begin to walk your hands forward, moving forward from your hips. Now, whenever you feel a certain feedback in your lower back, your hamstrings, pause right there. For some of us, it is quite a short journey forward. It's quite all right. It doesn't matter how far forward your upper body is moving. If you feel an echo of this movement in your low back and your hamstrings, this is far enough. If you're close enough to the floor, maybe you lower down onto your forearms. If you have a bolster nearby, maybe you place a bolster underneath your belly. Pillows, blankets are useful in this position as well. If you have a bolster, you can turn it sideways. You can turn it on its highest level. But if you don't have any props lying around, no worries. You can lean forward without the props. So let's experiment with lowering the head down. As you lower the head down, let your feet relax. Relax. So we are not flexing the feet, not pointing the toes any longer. Moving as close to the floor as your hamstrings, your inner thighs, the back of the body are allowing you to go. And please choose that angle of a forward fold, the degree of a forward fold that is a kind angle, kind choice for your body. So as we are exploring the back of the body, as we are exploring the backs of the knees and the hamstrings here, once again, let's establish a contact with the current state of the heart, the mind. Noticing how that first step of recognizing what is here is already creating this quality of softening. So as you listen in a kind, receptive way to your body and your heart, as you notice that there are some experiences that are more vivid than others, pause with the most vivid experience of the moment. What needs your attention right now? It might be a physical sensation. It might be a difficult or an uneasy thought or a feeling. So as you recognize what is here, as you say, for example, fear is here, or impatience is here, or boredom is here, can you just for a breath, a single breath, allow this experience be just as it is? Allowing means letting be the thoughts, emotions, feelings, or sensations you discover. And yes, there might be this very strong impulse to fight what is here. While acknowledging this impulse, which is really a self-protection measure, while acknowledging this impulse to run or fight or freeze, allow that boredom or fear or anxiety or whatever is present, allow it be here just as it is. And so as you welcome the experience, as you let it be, as you become more willing to be present with what is, a different quality of attention will emerge. Allowing is intrinsic to healing. And realizing this can give rise to a conscious intention to let be. A certain phrases, certain words might be helpful to remember right now. One of them is the word yes, or I see you, or it's okay, or I allow. Couple more breaths here. 5 more. Offer the phrase I allow or word yes. Offer it to the experience of the moment. And in time, you might notice that your defenses begin to relax. You may even feel a physical sense of opening to waves of experience. Very slowly, without any rush, begin to press your hands into the floor. Slowly, slowly stacking the vertebrae, one on top of the other. Maybe celebrating the arrival to your tall spine with a deep breath in and a delicious sigh out. Pause here in your tall seat for a couple more breaths, feeling the aftertaste of a forward fold in your body. And then bring your hands to your outer thighs. Draw your legs together. Maybe shake your legs a little. And then cross your ankles. Bring your hands to your knees. And let's move a little. As you exhale, round your spine, lean back, guide your chin in. And as you inhale, expand your chest, hug your spine with your shoulder blades, draw your chin forward. Exhale, allowing the back of the body round and expand and broaden. And as you inhale, hug your spine with the shoulder blades as the chest becomes more and more spacious. Find a couple more pulsations like this. Allow your eyelids lower down. Relax your eyes from the realm of looking and seeing. Perhaps you rest your inner gaze at the space between your eyebrows. Find 3 more pulsations like this, noticing the contact of your hands to your knees. Maybe you're practicing in your pajamas today, so just notice the texture, the temperature of the surface underneath your knees. That's one of the benefits of practicing online, is that you don't have to coordinate your yoga outfit. Not that you do it in real classes, real as of group classes. Come back to your neutral spine. Let's find pigeon pose. So for some of us, pigeon pose is not a kind choice for the knees. If that's the case, please return onto your back and set your right ankle over your left thigh. Maybe you interlace your fingers at your left hamstrings, maybe your left shin. And then lower your head down. You can also bring your left foot to the block or bolster. Otherwise, please lean over to your right side. Draw the left leg out, around and back. And begin to experiment with positioning your left hip. What would happen if you bring your left hip a little closer to the floor, a little further away from the ground? Gather some information about how the movement of your left hip echoes in your right hip, in your right knee. Now find a sweet spot where the position of the left hip echoes kindly in your right hip, right knee. And then maybe experiment with the position of your right foot. Snuggle it up a little closer to the front side of the mat. Move it down a little. So find the position of the right foot that echoes kindly in your right knee, right hip. And begin to lower down onto your forearms. Maybe resting your forehead on a block, maybe keeping the head lifted, maybe bringing the forehead to your hands. And if you immediately regret your decision to move forward and down with your torso, you can certainly lift the chest. Now remember that in this pose, and I will turn towards you so you can see me a little better. In this position, you can also add a shoulder exploration. So with your left forearm in front of the right one, begin to move your hands away from one another. So now maybe your upper arms cross. And if your upper arms are crossing, bring your chin to your left upper arm, your top upper arm. You can keep your arms extended or bend your elbows and embrace your shoulders or shoulder blades or upper arms with your hands. And of course, this position of the arms is only an invitation that you can decline. As you're settling into this position, notice what is here. Perhaps the experience of this moment is very different from the one before. The experience of this asana is very different from the one you explored in the past. So take a new look, take a fresh look at the experience of this moment, this asana, this very breath. what is here now. And then inquire, can you let it be? And maybe your instant answer is no, I cannot possibly allow it. I cannot possibly allow this feeling to be here. Don't try to change that response. Recognize some unwillingness to feel. How does that feel? To not being willing to feel something. So there is no wrong answers to the question of what is here. Pleasantness, unpleasantness, willingness to feel something, unwillingness to feel something. All of these waves perhaps are allowed in a vast ocean of your attention. Recognizing and allowing what is here to be here. For the next couple of breaths, maybe you change the position of the right foot a little. Maybe you stay pretty much on the same angle. 5 more breaths here. Remembering the availability of exhaling out through the mouth. So please don't feel rushed. Or if you feel rushed, acknowledge that too. But whenever your 5th breath is fading away, begin your journey to your upright torso. And if you're lying down on your back, find a full body stretch. Otherwise, come up onto your fingertips, lift the chest, lengthen your spine, maybe look at the ceiling. And then shift your weight over to the right side, guide your left leg out, around and forward, cross your ankles. Find a moment of stillness, and if you are lying down on your back, maybe give your knees a hug. Feel an imprint that pigeon pose and its variation has left in your body. And when you feel that this imprint is fading away, begin switching sides. So if you're lying down on your back, please cross your left ankle over the right thigh. Interlace the fingers at the right hamstrings or shin. And if holding onto the right leg is not a kind choice, you can have your foot on the floor and draw your left knee forward. Or you don't even have to do that. You can rest your hands on the floor or your belly. Otherwise, shift your weight to your left side and guide your right leg out, around, and back. So let's experiment with the position of the pelvis here. Draw the right hip down. Very slowly, very slowly. There is no rushing through this. So just notice how the movement of the right hip now echoes as sensations in your left hip, left knee. So we want to find a compromise here. Compromise between pain and boredom. Again, there's nothing wrong with feeling bored, but we do want to feel some sensations, certainly. Now experiment with the position of the left foot. What would happen if you snuggle it up a little higher towards the front side of the mat? How would it feel to move it down a bit? And then when you find that sweet spot, lower down onto your forearms. Choosing the position of the upper body that is in service of the lower body. And if you would like to add an arm variation here, place your right forearm in front of the left one. And then walk your hands away from one another. So your upper arms cross. Press your chin into your right upper arm. If this is too suffocating, if you feel too much pressure on your throat, you can bring your forehead to a block here. And again, you can have your arms extended or bend your elbows and hug your upper arms or shoulders or shoulder blades. And again, if a forward fold is not a kind choice, you can stay in the upright position of the torso. As you breathe in, notice what is here. As you breathe out, let it be. And as you let this experience be, begin to notice how this experience, this feeling, this emotion, this thought, how does it experience manifests in your body? Often when I feel fearful or anxious, I feel some pressure in my throat, in my chest areas. When I feel anxious, I have this kind of a tingling sensation in my belly, solar plexus area. When I feel joyful, I have this sense of expansion in my chest and my heart center. So you might notice that a feeling has a physical sensation that is associated with it, that comes along with it. Guiding a little bit more focused attention to your present experience. Pausing and asking, what is happening inside me right now? You might also ask, what needs my attention? What wants my attention? And then notice or ask, how am I experiencing this in my body? You might also ask, what does the feeling want from me? Investigating with kindness. So, very often, if not always, when I investigate some of those more challenging experiences, what I discover is that the thing that this feeling wants from me is nothing but my presence. It doesn't need to be changed. It doesn't want to be solved, but it needs to be seen and heard. So as we stay here in our pigeon pose or its variation for the next couple of breaths, as you pause with your inner experience, can you give it what it wants? Your presence, your wholehearted attention, just for a breath. And notice how the experience changes as you bathe it in your wholehearted, kind attention. Find 3 more breaths here, one slow breath at a time. And then slowly as you inhale your 4th time, if you're lying down on your back, let your legs go. Find a full body stretch. Otherwise, come up onto your fingertips. Lift the chest, look up. Now, if you are lying down on your back, give your knees a hug. And then let your knees go, roll over onto your side. Find your way onto your hands and knees. And those of us in pigeon pose, let's bring the heels of the hands to the floor. Walk your right knee forward, walk your left knee back. Let's all find tabletop position. And as you find your tabletop position, begin to move your hips, circle them around. And as your hips circle, the rest of the body is following figure 8-like pattern. Let your shoulders, let your head participate in this movement. Having a conversation with the major joints of the body right now. And then reverse the movement to the other side. Or continue with your cat and cow pulsation. Come back onto your hands and knees. Find stillness. Now, if there is some sensitivity in your knees, please find a blanket and set it underneath the knees. Let's take a step forward with the left foot. Even in our virtual class, we cannot escape low dragon position. So let it be a generous step with the left foot. Begin to lean forward with your pelvis until you feel some lengthening on your right upper thigh. You feel sensations in your left outer thigh, left outer hip. And if you wish you had more support for your chest, for your belly, you can actually heel to your left foot in and lean into your left thigh. Otherwise, have the left foot near the left side of the mat. So if you choose to lower down onto your forearms, there is room for that. If there is a bolster nearby, maybe set the bolster underneath your elbows or your hands. You can also tuck the bolster in front of your right knee. And when you lean forward, this will alleviate some of the pressure on the knee, but also will soften some of the perhaps sharpness of sensations in your right thigh. So whichever option you choose, we'll stay here for about a minute, Find a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Knowing that this experience will pass, and we even know approximately how long it will pass after, can you pause for a moment with this position, this sensation, this feeling, recognizing and allowing. And now begin to learn about it. How does the sensation unfold? How does it change over time? How does the feeling present itself? Where in your body does it occur? Perhaps remembering the following words: it's okay, it's okay. Let me feel this for now. Sharing 3 more breaths here. 1 breath at a time. Relaxing the right buttock, unclenching the teeth, softening the facial muscles. And then slowly return onto your hands if you're not there already. Send your hips back. For a moment, extend your left leg. Doesn't have to be a full extension. And then step your left foot back. Have your knees about hip distance apart or a little bit wider. Connect your big toes. Draw your hips to your heels. Extend your arms forward. And lower your forehead down. My recent favorite position of the hands, of the arms in child's pose is having the hands one on top of the other so I can create this little pillow for my forehead. Taking a moment here to savor this effortlessness of being. What a contrast from low dragon position. Now, before I lose you here in child's pose, let's slowly transition onto the hands and knees. So this time we'll step the right foot forward. Again, let it be a generous step. So when you lean forward with your pelvis, your right knee hovers around your or above your heel. You can heel to your right foot slightly to the side. If you prefer to have more support for your chest, for your belly, draw your right foot in. So you can lean into your right thigh. Again, having a bolster underneath you, underneath your left thigh, or a stack of pillows underneath your thigh can be quite helpful. Having your hands or the forearms on the bolster is a great choice as well. So again, leaning forward enough to have this first contact with sensations. The sensations are not too loud, but loud enough so you can certainly hear and feel them. Maybe you lower your eyelids down. And as you start feeling your breath, you arrive at here and now. You recognize, maybe you say to yourself, this is what impatience feels like. This is how things are right now. So especially if the sensations here or this whole experience here is challenging for you, wouldn't it be more helpful to offer some kindness and some compassion to yourself as opposed to furthering this already difficult moment? So the practice of recognizing, allowing, and exploring is an offering of kindness, is an offering of self-compassion. Please find 3 more breaths here. And then slowly come back onto your hands, press your hands down, extend your right leg to the degree that your hamstrings agrees with. And then step your right foot back and find your way onto your belly. Rest your forehead on your hands, guide your hips side to side. And then stabilize the position of the pelvis. Bring your hands to the floor underneath your shoulders. And then circling your shoulders backward, one shoulder at a time. And then forward, one shoulder at a time. And then come up onto your forearms. Have your elbows below your shoulders. Palms can be facing the floor. You can interlace your fingers. We'll stay in Sphinx pose for about a minute here. You can press your elbows down and lengthen your spine. You can sink into your shoulders and lower the head down. The back of the body can be relaxed. You can engage your legs, engage your buttocks, engage your belly. So notice how all of these different options echo in your lower back. Choose one or combination of those options that is a kind combination for your lower back. In this very enlivening back bend, let's welcome a quality of softening, a quality of soothing, which comes with slower exhalations. So the inhalations are slow, the exhalations are complete. Couple more breaths here. When you exhale next time, begin your journey onto your belly. Slowly, slowly lower your forehead down. And just take a moment here to invite some movement to the belly. Encourage your belly to round and expand as you inhale. And notice how that expansion of the belly echoes as an expansion in your low back, your kidneys area. So find 3 more of these slow belly breaths. And then let the breath breathe itself. Bend your knees. Choose a side to roll onto. And then find your way onto your back. Take your time. Take your time. Transitioning onto your back. Now, when you arrive onto your back, heel to your feet as wide as your mat. Draw your knees together. Rest your hands on your belly and continue breathing with the belly. Encouraging the belly round and expand as you inhale. Feel the deflation, the descent of the belly as you exhale. And then guide your knees to the chest. Guide your brows to the knees. Draw the thighs to the belly. And then let your legs go. We are returning to the very first position we have explored today, and that is Shavasana. So if you have a bolster lying around, place it underneath the knees. If you have a blanket nearby, cover your body with a blanket so you feel warm, cozy, supported. Creating all the necessary circumstances so you feel effortless. You feel held. Let your eyelids lower down. And as you close your eyes, once again, notice what is here. Recognize what is here. Can you possibly let it be? Can you possibly say hello or say I see you to the experience of this moment. Can you feel the way this inner experience echoes in your body? Exploring what is here with kindness. And now, as you explore what is here, perhaps you can sense that feeling of, I care. You care enough to take a look within. So feel your nourishing presence. Feel your beautiful, nourishing presence. So perhaps whatever is here can be held in your vast, spacious, nourishing presence. With every breath out, the body softens. With every exhalation, the mind empties. As you rest. If you would like to have a longer Shavasana, please don't hesitate to pause this video, and you can stay on your back for as long as you would like to. Otherwise, let your breath welcome your mind back to your body. Feel the presence of your physical body in the room that you're in right now. The floor beneath you, the air around you, the sounds around you, the presence of your four-legged friends around you. You're here now. And when you feel more and more confident that you are awake, start welcoming gentle movement to your fingers, to your toes, to your face, to your shoulders. Maybe find a full body stretch and a deep yawn. Lower your arms down. Bend your knees and choose a side to roll onto, whichever side is calling you now. Pause on your side for a couple of breaths. And then with the help of your arms, begin your journey to your upright seat. Take your time coming up. When you find your tall spine, connect your hands at the heart center and take a moment to feel the palm to palm, finger pad to finger pad connection. And take another moment to feel your beautiful presence. Find a deep breath in. Release. Thank you all so very much for practicing together, for breathing together. Be well. Namaste. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a wonderful evening and have a peaceful week ahead. Thank you.